the simple answer is we see big data opportunities everywhere, right? We really think that it is very much across all forms of business. The customers, the segments that have been the earliest big data examples have largely been the internet companies,
Okay.
right? Because what is Google? It's a big data company, right? They sort of brought forth some of the core MapReduce, right, technologies. And similarly for Facebook, right? It's a big data social environment. But as businesses start to take advantage of it, we see that there's great opportunity in quite a few areas, right, that are emerging. Clearly in financial services, right, there's lots of areas for them to be able to do a better job of, right, for instance, in credit or transactions. One is being able to do fraud, right, and do, right, deeper analytics, right, to avoid risk, right, or theft, right. The other side is they're able then to also say, do better targeting. So we have customers who online banking or online credit, they're able to say, you might also like, right, or here is a better service that you'd be interested in. So we clearly see it in financial services. We see it in insurance, right, where they're able to do better policy creation by having much deeper understanding of risk. Because what is insurance, right? It's basically buying, right, a policy against risk. So if we give them better tools to predict risk, they can do better policies at lower cost, right, or at higher accuracy, right? We see it in marketing, right, where people are doing marketing online and being able to say to customers, you might also like, or being able to do things like ComScore, which is being able to be sort of like the measuring customers' reactions for online retailing, right, to activities, and being able to do targeted, right, online retailing, like in Amazon. It says what else you might like, right, and we see retailers doing that broadly. We also see that big data clearly is oil and gas, right, where they're looking at very, very large fields and being able to combine, right, from large amounts of data, being able to then combine that with other oil field data, right, and be able to say this shadow actually looks like this find, right, maybe that's what this data is telling us, right. So lots of opportunities, right, to apply it in those areas. Other areas might be healthcare, right, where we now have customers who are doing evidence-based healthcare, where they offer services that's saying, for 45-year-old males who had your same vitals and who had similar characteristics to your, right, diagnosis, these were the most successful, right, approaches to, right, guidance of what the doctors should be prescribing or what additional tests to run, right? Evidence-based healthcare, which is enormous, right, potential savings in healthcare or for improvement of quality of healthcare. So, and I could go on, right? We see numerous examples across industries, and even in our case, right? We're putting it into running our business better, right? Where we're getting real-time analytics on every disk drive in our storage products, so I can better predict when we should do preventative maintenance on our disk drives before the drive fails. Right. We see when as the error rates start to climb, we can say, oh, it's time to go do something, right? Or we might look at the infrastructure and say something's going on, right, because its performance is starting to change, right? So again, all of that is big data analytics type of processing. So we're quite excited about this field, and we think, as Joe described, it is the killer app, right, of the next 10, 20 years, right, will be big data predictive analytics.